All right, guys. So today we're going to be talking about how men are brought up in America and how they're almost doomed to fail. But I'm going to tell you what you can do about it. We're going to hop into it all. Let's get into it right now. Starting off, I believe that most children in America are brought up incorrectly when it comes to food, how they're taught to eat, what they're taught to eat, everything like that. So I know, at least for myself, when I was brought up, I loved food. And I feel like it's not a crime to love food. No one should be punished for enjoying what they eat. I feel like it's a completely normal thing. Why would you not want to love feeding yourself? Feeding ourselves is literally an essential that we all have as human beings. And food tastes so good. There's so much good food out there. Now, there are some foods that you probably shouldn't be eating, but it's okay in moderation. But the point is, if parents don't know how to eat and fuel themselves properly, maintain healthy habits, how would you expect them to teach their kids any better when they can't even provide for themselves? You gotta think of it like that. So for me, yeah, I was brought up loving food, and whatever's put on front of my plate, I obviously ate it, you know? I'm a hungry guy, and like, growing boy, that's what I'd always be told growing up. It's like, I just love to eat, you know? Because I started off as a fat kid. I don't know how many of you out there are once the fat kid, but that was me too. And I suffered through that. And it doesn't really start to take a toll until it comes to starting in school, I would say. And then at that point, you kind of get a good look around and you realize by seeing other people your age, what other people's body types are like, how other people act, personalities, things like that. And then if you are fat yourself, some people don't care. But then as you get older, what might begin to happen is people start to notice and they start to point it out, because it's a very clear trait. It's clear to see if someone is overweight. Now, in my case, I was fatter when I was a kid, but when I got a little older, I started to kind of lean out in weird places, which led to me being skinny fat. You know, I had skinny arms and I had like fat legs and like a belly. And the thing was, I would still get made fun of for this sometimes, and especially in elementary school and everything like that. And I was like, it makes you realize as a kid, you're like, what's wrong with me? What am I doing? Like, why is everyone else looking, some of them looking skinny, some of them looking fat, and like, what's wrong with that? Or even if you're not that fat yourself and you just kind of are able to blend in with everyone else, when you see someone else talk bad about someone who is fat or overweight, you're like, oh, and it clicks in your head that like being fat, being overweight is bad or unwanted or undesirable. And then when you see yourself in the mirror, even if you're not that overweight, you could just have a little bit of a belly, which is completely normal growing up, to be honest. I feel like, as long as you're just fed normally and not anything crazy, then you start to realize like, oh my God, am I fat? And you start to get in this deception of the poor self-image mindset. You're like, oh my God, well, I'm fat. What should I do about this? And like, hope no one finds out, you know? And then if you do start to get bullied as a kid, then it becomes clearly obvious. You're like, okay, well, I have a problem. It makes you feel bad about it. But as a kid, you don't even know much. You don't know how to drive. You barely know how to read books. You're in school to like learn other things like that. You're there to learn division, you know? You're not there to like know how to lose body weight, because like not even adults know how to do that, you know? So it kind of presents this challenge. Now, the next steps, most often, at least nowadays, people are starting in the gym in high school, which I think is great. I've noticed this trend in the last like 5 years or so. Most people are just starting to lift weights or improve themselves in high school. It's kind of become a trend. Now, I don't really care. I know some of the people have said like, oh my God, they're ruining the gym. So many high schoolers are not even lifting right, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, but they're learning and they're in the gym. I would rather have the gyms be absolutely packed than have the gym to myself and 4 other like people who are insanely jacked. Because more people in the gym, even if they do quit, which you know is very discouraging, the fact that they went to the gym is something I think every single person should be proud of, because they held themselves to that standard. Now, making that first step can be hard. Some people honestly wait longer. A lot of people I know, they started when they were in college. Now, luckily for me, I started in high school, so I got a step ahead. That's the whole idea, is the sooner someone starts, the sooner you see results. Think about it. It makes more than logical sense. If you were to start saving today, and you don't touch that, you just save $100 every month for 20 years, you'd have a lot of money in 20 years. But if you started one day, okay, well by tomorrow, I'm gonna have $10,000. That's just not how it works. You just consistently put in effort into that, and you'll slowly get the reward. Now, more on being a kid and just like in high school, you kind of have to learn. And when you've grown up, you're kind of taught this standard of like, you have to eat healthy to look healthy, to be skinny, to be lean, to be fit, to be whatever. You gotta eat your vegetables, you gotta eat your fruits, you gotta have your protein, and you kind of have that instilled in your mind from a very young age. And it's not a bad message, but it is bad in the way that it's harmful, and it stops people from actually making progress. Because this is why the adults are still overweight, and then how are the kids supposed to stop being overweight? You have to kind of wake yourself up and realize that that's not the reality of it. Because if that was the reality, and if it was easy to just eat clean every day and enjoy it, don't you think everyone on this entire planet would be fit if it actually tasted good and that was actually realistic? Because it's not. So say someone were overweight and unhappy with their body. They would do what they know they have to. Eat healthy, go to the gym. Because they might see people, they might know people that do the same thing. They think they do the same thing, so like, okay, I'm gonna do that to get healthy, to get lean, to lose the weight, build muscle, whatever their goal is. So they start going to the gym, and that's good, because that's progress. That's something to definitely be proud of. But the thing is, they might look up, okay, how to lose fat. Okay, gotta lower my calories so I can do cardio, okay. And then they go do a bike circuit where they're like busting their ass for like 20 minutes, sweating bullets, 5 minutes, slower pace, 20 minutes, boom, boom, boom. Where they go on runs and start running like crazy. And then in the moment, they're absolutely dying. They're just like drowning in like pain and exhaustion. And then afterwards, they're insanely sore. Legs are insanely blown out, more than it would be on just a regular lift of a leg day. They got shin splints, every muscle in their leg is absolutely like completely thrown off, and they can't even walk the next day. And it's all this pain, and that pain becomes associated with the result. And then it becomes this proportion almost. It becomes the idea of like, okay, well, here's the reward is having a six pack, having muscle. Now here's what I have to do to get there. And if what they think they have to do to get there is eating healthy and cardio, maybe that's right here. See, there's more desire to have a six pack, so they'll keep doing it. But if they have an unstable thing like eating healthy, quote unquote, and doing cardio, the pain of that is gonna become greater than the goal of having a six pack. And as soon as the pain becomes greater than the reward, that's when quitting happens. That's when people start to fail. And that failure can be one day. It could be like, oh, well, I have work and I'm really exhausted and it's 8 p.m. and I'm tired. I don't want to get ready to go to the gym. That's a lot of work. Shower. Oh, no, I'll just go tomorrow. Then tomorrow comes and they're tired again. And they're like, okay, I'll go on Sunday. It's fine. Sunday rolls around. They completely forgot they were ever going to go to the gym. From there, it just starts a streak of quitting, a streak of failures. Now, those failures, you could stop yourself. Now, this is exactly what I love to preach. This is exactly what I do. As soon as you hear that voice in your head tell you, I don't want to go to the gym, notice it, recognize it, be like, okay, well, my mind doesn't want to go to the gym because it's associated with pain and drag and it's a lot of work. But my heart, inside of my heart, I know that I must go to the gym to learn, to get the work done, to get that dream body. Because I know it's not gonna show up one morning. I'm not gonna wake up and look down and have a six pack of abs and veins in my biceps. That's not reality. I know I have to put in the work. So I'm going to fight that inner demon in my head and just go. And then going when you have no motivation, no desire like that, compared to the regular days where you're super motivated, you're looking at pictures and you're like, today is the day, today's I'm gonna do it. Those are okay days, you might have a really good time. But the days where you don't wanna go and you actually push yourself to go will feel 100 times better than any other workout, because you knew originally you didn't wanna go. You're gonna have a great time and know, now it's instilled in your head, I can do challenging things. I have the ability to be able to push myself. And that is remarkable. And once you do that, you can just prove to yourself over and over again. You're like, well, last week I didn't want to go to the gym, but I fucking did. Oh my God, well, I can do this. And then it starts to transfer into other aspects of your life. So you can say like, oh, I have to apply to that big career job, and I just got my degree, and it's kind of scary applying for a real job. I don't know if I can do it. Now, someone that's never gone to the gym, or they've tried and they failed a couple years ago, they're gonna be a lot more stressed for that big job opportunity and doing the interview, say, for example. But someone who's been going to the gym, been staying consistent, they've had their failures, they've had their setbacks, but they pursue. They know they can do hard things. And they say, this is scary, this is hard, but I've gone to the gym for a couple of years now, and I've seen great progress. So if I've done that, I know I can do this. And it helps them compared to the person that let their feelings and just let quitting get the best of them. It starts to go into every aspect of your life. And that's why people start to see you more attractive. Not even just the opposite gender, just everyone. Like, people want to become friends with you more. People want to talk with you. They see you as a powerful position. They respect you automatically without even ever talking to you, because they see your body. And your body with a bunch of muscle and no fat, or just very lean, they see that as, oh my God, this person looks good. Not only like physically looks good, they're mentally tough because they've stuck to something for a significant amount of time. Third, they've done something, which is going to the gym, eating healthy or whatever it takes, which not everyone else can do, making them a rare species, a rare human, making them more desirable to connect with, be friends with, have a relationship with, anything like that. That's how the human mind works. So what you can do, if you're stuck in that rut and you're stuck with like, well, I don't know what to do. I'm stuck eating healthy, it tastes awful. I don't want to eat chicken breast and rice for the rest of my life. It's unsustainable. I don't want to go to the gym and absolutely obliterate myself, or not going to the gym and not knowing what I'm doing, just walking around doing whatever looks good. I'm tired of wearing hoodies every day to cover up my body because I'm insecure and unconfident. Just do some more research. We have phones that have access to the internet. There is so much knowledge, especially with social media around. Imagine generations and generations before, like our grandparents and great-grandparents, and even before that, like they had to go to a library to read books to read about this stuff. And if your local library didn't have a book on, proper training, proper nutrition, then you're kind of screwed. And even if it did have one, not guaranteed that's actually good information. So use all the things available to you, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, because there's no one guide of like, okay, well, this guy's a good YouTuber, this guy's a really good TikToker, oh, this guy's stuff is 100% true. That's not true. Different ways that people explain stuff and teach stuff works better for different kinds of people. So just look up something that you're wondering. If you're like, okay, well, I know I need to lose fat, so how do I lose fat? Okay, I cut back my calories. How do I track my calories? Look up any question you need, like, oh, how do I train correctly? Things like that, like what is the form for this? Whatever creators pull you in, whatever explanation they make, and you're like, that makes sense. Whatever kind of motivation they give you or anything like that, like you feel inspired, you're like, okay, I like this follower. I like this guy, I'm gonna stick with him. Just finding what works for you, because eventually you're gonna build your own knowledge and have your own skill set that you can work on. And just constantly improving that, because there's a man out there who's probably like 70 years old, has been training since he was 12, and he can still learn something this day and age. There's always something you can learn. There's always something you can refine, something you can make better that you might have been missing before. So just consume as much of this media as you can, because we have unlimited access to it. Now, if you are currently feeling stuck, if you are skinny fat, if you're overweight, if you're unhappy with your body, unconfident, you're not happy with where you're at, and you feel, in your heart you were destined for more, and you feel like you have some pieces together, but you're just missing those puzzle pieces that you need to bring it all together and make it actually work and be held accountable, then I'll have an option in the description where you can go ahead and book a call with me. It's completely free. We'll go over your current goals, what kind of things you want to do, where you want to go with this. And then from there, I'll see if you're a good fit for the program, explain to you how it works. If you are a good fit, get you started with that. If not, worst case scenario, you just get all the information you need, set you on the right path of exactly what you need to do, where you need to go, send you on your way. It's a win-win situation either way. So if you're interested, click the link in the description. Hopefully I'll be talking with you soon, and I hope you have a great day. And remember, you got this. You can do this. Let's go.